Hey guys, so today I want to talk about optimizing your daily plague runs. So every day, if you come up to the Watcher Tower here and you go talk to the Watcher, you'll be able to trade with him. And assuming that you've done, a few plague runs in the past, you'll have some of these torn sinew, torn marrows, and torn husks. So every day, if you talk to him, you can be given up to 5 of these torn effigies. And I'm going to go ahead and purchase these here. And what these torn effigies do is if you go to any bonfire in any of these regions, so I'm going to go to the Saltburn Tower here, for example, and when you actually offer up items to begin a plague, if you give a torn effigy as well, it's going to instantly spawn the boss at the end. So as an example here, if I go over here and give 1 torn effigy, and I'm just going to max out the rest with just some random things, for example. What you can see is on the right side, next to where it says Plague Intensity 4, below it, it says Pestilence will be summoned, just in the top right there. And so what that means is the boss will instantly spawn. You won't have to go and clear mobs to fulfill the bar for it to spawn. And it just lets you do these plague runs a lot faster because you don't have to kill the mobs. But obviously we only get 5 of these a day. And if you're someone who doesn't play as much, maybe you can just use them willy-nilly and you can just use them on any of the regions. But what I've actually determined is, obviously we've got a lot of regions on the map, right? So we've got the Shallows, the Mariner's Keep, the Urban Glades, the Lowland Meadows, Marin Woods, and last but not least, the Nameless Pass. Some of these regions take significantly longer to clear out and path to clear the mobs to actually get the final boss to spawn. So an example of those would be Lowland Meadows, Marin Woods, and Nameless Pass. So I would say these 3 take the longest to get the boss to spawn. The Shallows is definitely the fastest one by far. Mariner's Keep is equally pretty fast as well, and so is the Urban Glades. So what I would do personally is, for example, for the Shallows one, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to burn 8 torn sinew. I've got a lot more in my stash, but essentially burning the sinew just means you don't have to burn a lot of your other resources because you only need 8 of them to fill up the bar. So I'm going to go ahead and burn those, but I'm not going to burn a torn effigy. So the boss isn't going to instantly spawn. But what I'm going to show you is that with the Shallows, the run actually takes a very insignificant amount of time just because of where the mobs actually spawn, right? So I'm gonna go ahead and clear out the mobs here. And the thing about where the mobs spawn is that they always spawn in the exact same locations, more or less, right? So I know that I go down there I go down here first, kill the mobs here, then there'll be one here, and then there'll always be one mob up here. And if you go ahead and clear those, there's going to be one on the bridge around here. Sometimes you walk down and sometimes there's one there, but oftentimes not. I'm going to go ahead and clear this one, and then the big mob spawns here, like the big mini boss. Then you go ahead and run over here, run straight down here. And then there'll be like a couple here. Stop running away from me, buddy. And there'll be 2 here. And after that, just like that, the Pestilence is already spawned. So I didn't have to burn a torn sinew, right? And so what that means is optimizing the use of how you're burning those torn effigies allows you to get a lot more of these plague runs done a lot faster, because you just use them on the regions that take a lot longer time to actually spawn the boss, right? The boss can spawn in 2 locations at the Shallows, one being right outside where you kill that last mob, and the last being just down this region over here. So I've gone ahead and I've just killed the boss here, and as you saw from the actual run itself, it took a significantly short amount of time to actually complete the run, right? So if, for example, I go ahead and go to the Nameless Pass here, the run on the Nameless Pass takes a significantly longer time, right? The path that you actually have to take to fulfill the quota to fill out the bar is much longer, right? I'm talking maybe 2, 3, 4 times longer. So what you want to do for these regions, for example, is you want to burn the Torn Effigy. So just chuck in one of your Torn Effigies, max the rest out with some sinew, and the boss will be instantly spawned. It's actually a nice bit of rewards here. Got two fallen embers. So make the offering, and the boss here can spawn in 2 places, I believe, as well. Normally it's just around, it's just in that final boss zone that you beat during the story. So go ahead. I always just go to the mountain gate. There is one closer. I just haven't actually relinquished that whisper yet. So I'm going to go ahead and just run over there real quick. And say goodbye to this one. Alright, so that one's done, right? So I burned a Torn Effigy rather, and I just instantly spawned the boss, and now I can just go ahead and go to the next zone already, right? So just taking a look at the map here again. The regions that take the longest by far are Nameless Pass, Marin Woods, and Lowland Meadows. I would say if you get the route actually down, Lowland Meadows and Marin Woods aren't terrible. I would say Marin Woods is the better of the two. So if you really wanted to optimize how you're actually running your plays and getting as much out of it as you can in a day, like let's say you've only got a couple hours to play, no rest, I would definitely for sure do Mariner's Keep, the Shallows, and Urban Glades by yourself without any of the Torn Effigies, and then 100% use a Torn Effigy on the Nameless Pass. If you've run Marin Woods a few times and you sort of get the idea of where the mobs spawn, I would also just do Marin Woods without a Torn Effigy, and then do Lowland Meadows with the Torn Effigy as well. So for 2 of the zones, we're spawning a boss just with the Torn Effigies, and the other ones we're just burning other excess materials to spawn the boss. So yeah, that's how you can get the most out of your Torn Effigies. Make sure you're doing grabbing them every single day, even if you can't play. So you can bank them up, and maybe you get an extra hour or 2 that you can have a sit down and play. And just a final question for you guys. If you guys want to see what the actual optimized routes for killing the mobs the fastest on all of these zones is, comment down below, and I'll make a video on them, and I'll do one for every single region.